I wake up to the same old fight, chasing shadows in the night. Promises made, but I let them fade. Caught in the cycle, I'm feeling betrayed. Round and round, I'm losing ground. Trying to break free, but I can't see. These negative patterns are haunting me. Nights turn to days, I'm losing my way. Thought I found peace, but it's led me astray. Chasing the high, but it only brings pain. The more I run, the less I gain.
Hey everybody, hey, and welcome to another session of Tarka Say It Again. And today, our question is, why do people ruin good relationships? I'm going to ask that again. Why do people ruin good relationships? Maybe because of fear of stability. Another, fear of vulnerability. Opening up to your partner, not wanting to share those inner thoughts. And our third one for today, learned behavior. And you hear me talk about learned behavior all the time in dealing with addictive patterns. What we've witnessed, what we've seen growing up as a child. For today's session, I need you all to look inward instead of just blaming. We don't want to do the blaming, oh, he did this or he did that, because we know in my book, when we go to pointing that finger, you have how many pointing back? Yep, 3. 3 fingers pointing back at you. So we're not doing the blame game today. The truth is, many people don't lose good relationships. Guess what they do? They unconsciously reject them. They don't even realize they're doing it. And when I say they, me, I'm including myself in this. I'm going to break it down for you. Maybe it's not about love. Maybe it's about familiarity. Maybe about fear, of the unknown, and conditioning. How you might have been conditioned to feel a certain way. So we're going to deal with the first one, fear of stability. Now, who doesn't want a stable relationship? But guess what? If peace feels unfamiliar, then fear could set in. And I've done some research on this, say, attachment theory, where it shows that people develop this relational pattern early on in life when they were a child. So, example would be like if you grew up around inconsistency, or maybe around conflict, or emotional distance, or even abandonment, because we know that's a big one. Guess what? It can affect your nervous system and adapting to what we consider as normal. So guess what? When a healthy or stable relationship comes your way, or it shows up, there's no chaos. You're not arguing and fussing all the time. There's no emotional roller coaster. And I'll be like, get me off this ride. There's no constant trying to prove your love to the other person. There's no competition, because I hear people tell me all the time that they feel that they're competing with their partner. So none of that is going on. So instead of feeling safe, it can feel maybe boring or even uncomfortable. Now, I'm not going to say that because you say that someone is boring, that you have the fear of stability. No, that's not what I am saying, because that person genuinely could be boring or have a boring personality. Evidence on, say, attachment styles, that's where anxiety or maybe avoidance come into play. And that could be an individual maybe feeling, say, the chemistry with someone that's unpredictable, that unpredictable partner. But at times you've heard people say, I don't like him because he's so predictable or she's so predictable. Other words, people don't always choose what's healthy. They choose what feels familiar. Remember that. So number 2, fear of vulnerability. Your protection could be disguised as disinterest. Being in a good relationship requires emotional exposure. We definitely know that. You got to be able to share out. Your partner want to feel seen, want to feel heard. You got to be able to communicate with them no matter what it is. And maybe even being hurt could fall up under the vulnerability. If someone has been hurt, betrayed, or rejected before, they may pull away when things get serious. They could create conflict to gain control. And when I say create conflict, like start something. That kind of goes back to self-sabotaging. You know, you've heard of people where they sabotage a relationship, or they can even shut down emotionally. Now, going back to this sabotaging, studies as far as your psyche show that people with fear of rejection, they often engage in this self-protective behavior, as I just mentioned, as far as sabotaging relationships before maybe they get too deep, or you want to get the person before they get at you. Our third thing, learn behavior. Now, that learned behavior, love is what you see, not what you're told, because we can make our mouth say anything. Is what you're doing, is what you're manifesting, is what you're showing, demonstrating. And people often recreate the relationship dynamics they witnessed growing up. We say that all the time. The relationships you've had as a child, that shapes and molds the relationship you have as an adult. Now, if someone saw, say, growing up, a little love mixed with some struggle, inconsistency mistaken for, say, passion, emotional unavailability, that's a big one. And they feel that that's normalized. They may unconsciously repeat it. This aligns with the concept when we talk about conditioning. We repeat behaviors shown as a child. Yes, we do. You see it all the time, whether it's in a romantic relationship or in a relationship that you have with your offsprings. You'll have some men or some women may share out and say, I didn't get this growing up. I didn't see this growing up. My parents didn't hug me. My parents didn't love me. And then guess what? As a parent, they do the opposite of what they were shown. But then on the other hand, you have some use that as an excuse. They don't switch it up or do better than say what their parents did. They give out that same energy. If they didn't get the hugs, guess what? They're not affectionate with their child. If they didn't get the I love you, guess what? They ain't telling their child that. We've seen these things take place. So that's just something to think about. Other words, you don't just date people, you date your patterns. I'm going to say it again. You don't just date people, you date your patterns. And connecting that with the book, and I'm going to sum it up right here. All of these aren't random choices, y'all. They're not just random choices, these behaviors and these actions. These are patterns on repeat. Press play. Leaving when things get healthy. You heard me. Healthy. Because you don't know how to receive it. Confusing peace with boredom. Mistaking chaos for passion. One last key takeaway. Until you heal what feels normal, you will keep calling dysfunction love. We got to work on ourselves, y'all. We got to get healed before jumping into a new relationship. Take some time to be alone, to learn you again. You're not afraid of love. You're afraid of the kind of love that requires you to be whole, that requires you to be accountable as well as vulnerable. Thank you all for listening to today's session. Tarka said again, hashtag Addictive Patterns. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Spotify. All right, y'all. Have a good one.